Good evening, everyone. I'm Ankit and you're watching the Indian Express analysis, which goes live every day at 4 p.m. on StudyIQ IS English channel. Today is 31st of May, which is the last date of 5th month of this year. So let us begin our today's discussion. We will first start off our today's discussion by understanding a very important historical figure in India. You can understand her importance so that people revere her today as Devi. She was actually the queen of Holkar Confederacy, which was a part of Maratha Empire. Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, alternatively also known as Rani Ahilyabai Holkar. So we'll understand her contribution to the Indian struggle against the foreign invaders and also her contribution to the administration, to the society, to the culture of India. She has played a pivotal role in forwarding what is known as women empowerment, and this was centuries ago. You understand her importance, so that is why we are going to discuss it. This is because there will be a anniversary that will be celebrated across the country, and that is why this news has appeared. Now this is relevant from GS paper 1 perspective because we'll understand her contribution to Indian society, including Indian culture, right? In the second article, we'll be covering about World Dhole Day. Dhole actually is a species known as Asiatic wild dogs, and World Dhole Day is celebrated every year on 28th of May. So that is why this species in news becomes important from our exams perspective. So what are its characteristics? That is HHP, habits, habitats and protection status. We'll understand about this particular species that is in news, that is Asiatic wild dogs, okay? And the relevant paper here is GS paper 3 because it is relating to environment. In the third article, we'll be understanding a very important scheme of the government of India known as Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, abbreviated as PM-KISAN. PM-KISAN is basically an income support scheme where a form of cash is given to farmers in India, to all farmers. So who are eligible, who are not eligible, everything we'll find out. What are the benefits of such scheme, we'll also come to know in our today's discussion. Now this basically is an income support scheme for agriculture sector. So again, the relevant paper here is GS paper 3. In the fourth article, which also relates to economy, we'll understand what is initial public offering. You might be hearing this in news all the time. Big companies, whenever they list their shares in the market for the first time, that process is called as initial public offering. So why actually company have to issue shares in the market? What are the rationale behind it? What is the procedure? And who all can actually apply for IPO? Like people like you and I, can we file for an IPO? Let us try to find that one out in today's discussion. Now this deals with financial market, therefore relevant paper is GS paper 3, and gradually from 2020 onwards also you'll see the importance of financial markets in the UPSC prelims has increased manifold, and this actually mirrors the trend, broader trend in the economy, that people are more and more participating in the stock market. So such kind of a topic are very relevant from our exams perspective, right? In the fifth article, which is an article left out of yesterday's discussion, will actually be discussing the sodium ion battery. Sodium ion battery are basically seen as an alternative to the much popular lithium ion batteries, right? So why do we actually need different kind of batteries? Because we already have quite effective lithium ion batteries. We'll all discuss along with the features of sodium ion battery, and a recent technological leap has been made by an institute in Maharashtra. So we'll also understand what are the differences or how better that sodium ion battery is by the Indian companies, okay? And in the last article, if the time permits, we'll also be covering another species in news that has appeared in today's newspaper, that are olive ridley turtles. Olive ridley turtles are a very important turtle species. And what are the characteristics like HHP, habitats and protection status, that makes this species so desirable, and so much in news? All of this we are going to cover in our today's discussion, okay? So these are the 6 articles. Fifth article is relevant from GS paper 3, it deals with science and tech, and the last article also relating from GS 3, it deals with the subject of environment and ecology, okay? So these are the 6 articles we are going to cover. Rishi, Mini, Bhanu, Gagan, Gaurav, Jui, good evening all of you. Very less participation today. I think so everybody celebrating Saturday. I actually, until last night, I had it in my mind that tomorrow is Sunday. But when I woke up, I realized the reality. that I have to take this session again. Okay. Now the notes for this session, they will be available on the Telegram channel ATS Live as usual. So you can go to the Telegram channel, download the notes, and those notes will be available to you. Subscribe to the channel also if you still haven't, and if you are unable to find the channel anyhow, you have this QR code, scan it, and it will take you directly to the channel. Tani and Sandeep, good evening. Now the first article of the day will be covering about Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, Rahani Ahilyabai Holkar, whatever name she goes by. But after I'm done explaining you the article, you'll understand why people highlight her name by adding Devi in front of it, right? Now, this is a big event actually, and government is trying to commemorate her 300th birth anniversary. So basically, there were 3 advertisements in the newspaper from state government of MP, from state government of Haryana, and this is an advertisement from the Ministry of Culture. So all these 3 advertisements highlight about one thing only, Devi Ahilyabai Holkar. So let us understand the context of this discussion. In a celebration of women empowerment, the Lokmata Devi Ahilyabai Women Empowerment Grand Convention, it will be held in the capital city of MP, that is Bhopal today, and the chief guest of this event will be the Prime Minister of India. Now, this is organized by Matri Shakti, that is Women Power in English. The event marks the inauguration of 300th birth anniversary year of Devi Ahilyabai Holkar. She sometimes also is referred to as Rajmata Ahilyabai Holkar. Why the term Rajmata or Queen Mother is used, I will let you know also, right? Now, an icon, she's an icon of good governance, self-reliance, and also women empowerment. So, in this regard, let us understand where she fits into our Indian history and what pivotal role has she played in Indian history that has made her stand out among many doings of Indian movement, right? Now, before understanding her, let us understand the family or the kind of surrounding that she belonged to, right? Now, she was born in Chongdi village in Ahmednagar in 1725 in a Marathi family. Her father name was that, and she was the wife of Khandirao Holkar, and her father-in-law was Malhar Rao Holkar, who was also the founder of Holkar dynasty, right? So, before understanding this, you need to understand the Holkar dynasty of Indore, right? It was founded by Malhar Rao, and Malhar Rao had many sons, 2 important sons. One is the husband of Maharani or Rajmata Ahilyabai Holkar, that is Khandirao Holkar. And another one is the, give me a minute, Tukoji Rao. Now, Tukoji Rao was the adopted son of the founder of Holkar Empire, that is Malhar Rao. And Khandirao, his wife was Devi Ahilyabai, right? So, this is her place in the Holkar dynasty. Now, you understand, she belonged to the royal family. She was actually married into the royal family, and her father-in-law who also provided her military training was the Malhar Rao Holkar, who was the founder of Holkar dynasty. Now, Malhar Rao Holkar, before founding the Malhar dynasty, he was the officer in Peshwa Bajirao and was posted in Malwa to collect taxes that were imposed by Maratha Confederacy on other empires. These were known as Chauth and Sardeshmukhi. From the word Chauth, you can understand Marathas levied 25% taxes on subjects that did not belong to Maratha Confederacy, that is, to subjects who belong to Mughal Empire. Similarly, an additional 10% of tax were also levied, and this was called as Sardeshmukhi. So basically, these were taxes levied by Maratha Confederacy for protection to other people, right? And they provided Devi Ahilyabai the military training. It was the founder of Holkar dynasty, that is Malhar Rao Holkar, okay? Preethika, Dhakkan Babu, yes, it happens every day on this channel, Preethika. Jeev Jyoti, good evening. Now, about Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, she actually lived between 1725 to 1795, that is about 70 years. And she became the queen of Malwa region, became the ruler of Malwa after her husband's death. He was, her husband, Khandirao, he was killed in the Battle of Kumbher in 1754. After her husband, son of Ahilyabai Holkar, he ascended the throne, and Ahilyabai Holkar provided the advisory to her son, who acted as a king, right? So that is why sometimes she is also known as Rajmata or Queen Mother. And this is the term given to the mother of a king who is basically has grown not adult, right? Now, after untimely death of her son, she had no other option but to ascend to the throne of Holkar dynasty, and she appointed Tukoji Rao Holkar, who was the adopted son of Malhar Rao Holkar, I have already told you, as her commander-in-chief. So Tukoji Rao Holkar was basically a brother-in-law of Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, and she established the city of Maheshwar in Madhya Pradesh and eventually shifted the capital of Holkar dynasty from Indore to Maheshwar, which is also located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Now let us understand her key contributions in Indian society. The most important and probably the most highlighted contributions in the Indian society by Devi Ahilyabai Holkar was her decision to help reconstruction of notable temple in the Hindu religion. This includes Kashi Vishwanath, located in city of Banaras, and also Somnath temple located in Kathiawar peninsula of Gujarat. They were rebuilt and repaired under her patronage. She provided the support, she provided the money for it. Somnath temple is located in the Gujarat coast alongside Arabian Sea and is believed to be the first Jyotirling, which is a devotional shrine of Lord Shiv. Now, it was raided initially by Mahmud Ghazni in 1024 and attacked by Delhi Sultanate and Aurangzeb, and the contributions made by Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, it eventually helped restore that temple. In addition to that, she also helped repair Kashi Vishwanath temple located in the city of Varanasi, which stands in the western bank of river Ganga, and it is one of the 12 Jyotirling, which also is a devotional shrine belonging to Lord Shiva, right? Now, in addition to religious contributions, she also patronized arts. She patronized a Sanskrit scholar known as Khushali Ram and Marathi poets like Moropant and Shahir Anandpandi. Now, Moropant, he is famous for contributions like political commentary on Ramayana and Mahabharata, which he wrote in Marathi, obviously. A number of Akhanes-based Puranas, Aryabhat as well as Kekavati is his writings. Similarly, for Shahir Anandpandi, he is well known for composing Lavani and Povadas, right? So, these are the saints, or these are the poets who were patronized by Devi Ahilyabai Holkar. Now, in addition to that, she also played a pivotal role in administration and good governance. Now, she held daily public audiences when she was the queen, and it helped redress the problems of common people living under her kingdom, right? And she also earned a reputation for administrating justice fairly, so much so that she even ordered her own son, her only son, who was guilty of capital offense, to be announced or to be provided death by crushed with elephant. So this shows that she was so impartial and so she was so non-partisan that she ensured justice without even caring for her own personal well-being. Now, some landmark decisions made during her tenure was that she ordered the removal of traditional laws which allowed for confiscation of properties of childless widow. So understand, she undertook many social reforms also, right? In addition to that, she played a very important role in social development. She worked for women education, for allowing widow to remarry under her own kingdom, and resisted evil practices like sati and untouchability. And she even worked for mainstreaming tribes like Bhil and Gond, who were considered as lower caste, right? And economy wise also, she had a well organized taxation system in her own kingdom. Maheshwar and Indore became the centers of trade and commerce under her rule also, and Indore continues to be one of the important cities in the central India, right? She also promoted Maheshwari weaving industry. Maheshwari sarees and fabric, it is recognized even currently as an important handicraft good and has given the tag of geographical indication. So this is her contribution that continues even today. One of the largest, probably the cleanest city in India today is Indore. So who is from MP? Sandeep Gawade, she was from which caste? Well, we shouldn't care about the caste, right? We are way above it now. We are learning about an important figure in the Indian history. What role does it has that what caste she belonged to, right? Now, a bigger part of the discussion is the dynasty she belonged to. She belonged to Holkar dynasty, which was a part of Maratha Confederacy. Essentially, if you compare the politics of Maratha Confederacy, it worked in a similar way to the politics that India has right now, right? Maratha Confederacy had a king that was called Chhatrapati, and under him there were various regional kingdoms. like Gwalior, like Baroda, like Indore, like Nagpur, like Pune, right? And these regional kingdoms, they accepted the suzerainty of the Maratha Empire, that is the Chhatrapati, okay? Now, Holkar dynasty was again a part of Maratha Confederacy, and other prominent families includes Bhonsles of Nagpur, Gaikwads of Baroda, Sindhyas of Gwalior, and Peshwas of Pune. And third Maratha Anglo War was probably the one that defined the Holkar dynasty of today, right? What you need to understand, Malhar Rao the second, not the first. First one founded the kingdom, right? Malhar Rao the second, who lived between 1811 to 1833, and he ruled the Holkar dynasty then. He played a pivotal role in third Anglo-Maratha war. And after Malhar Rao the second, he was defeated in the battle of Mahidpur, and a treaty of Mandsaur was signed, which henceforth governed the relations between the Holkar and the British, right? So that is why these are the, yes, Indore is 7 times the cleanest city in India. So this was the role that Holkar dynasty played, and Rani Ahilyabai Holkar also belonged to Holkar dynasty. Any doubts? Now, if you don't have any doubt, let's see if you are able to solve this question quickly. Well, Rani Ahilyabai Holkar shifted the capital of Holkar dynasty from Indore to Maheshwar, correct? She was responsible for reconstruction of several prominent Hindu temples, including Kashi Vishwanath temple, correct? She was appointed the ruler of Malwa by the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Now, this is incorrect. She was appointed the ruler after her husband and after her son died untimely, but she was appointed the ruler by the nobles of Maratha Confederacy, not by Mughal Emperor. Marathas actually did not recognize Mughal Emperor as the correct ruler of India, right? So third obviously is incorrect. Even if you don't know the details, you can solve it by your using common sense, right? And the first statement, option A, is the right answer. No, option B, no, option A. I told you she shifted the capital of Holkar dynasty from Indore to Maheshwar. Now, this is the mains question that you can attempt after this session ends, and please submit the answers in the comment section. I'll request other students also who are writing the answers, please help each other to evaluate your answers, right? Now, moving to the second article. This article appeared in the website of Indian Express newspaper, and it talks about World Dhole Day, which actually on every year it is celebrated on 28th of May, and Dhole basically is the Asiatic wild dogs, right? This is the species I am talking about today. Okay, now whenever a species is in news, we need to understand the important habits, habitat as well as protection status of those species, right? So similarly, we'll also cover Dhole in these 3 parameters. Now, the common name of Dhole is Asiatic wild dog. Sometimes they are also referred as whistling dogs and red dogs, and the scientific name is Cone alpinus, and they belong to dog family, obviously, right? And the preferred habitats of this species is tropical dry forest, tropical moist forest, temperate forest, and production agroforest. Okay, and the geographical range where these species are available, they are available across Central, South and Southeast Asia. So that is why they are also available in South Asia, and India belongs to South Asia. And in India, they are present in Shivalik foothills in the state of Uttarakhand, in northeastern India, in eastern Deccan Plateau, in eastern and western Ghats both, right? So these are the areas you will find them. Yes, Sandeep, you are correct. Now let us understand the behavior. We understood the habitats of these species. Now understand the behavior of these species. Now these Asiatic wild dogs, they prefer to live in clans rather than traditional packs. Wolf actually live in packs, like they are living in groups. And the beauty of that living in clan is that they often split into smaller hunting groups of 3 to 5 individuals, especially during the spring season. And one of the important characteristics of these species is that they are highly social and cooperative animals. The protection protection status of Dhole is that IUCN list, in the IUCN list, they are listed as an endangered species. In the sites, they are listed as Appendix 2 species, whereas in Wildlife Protection Act, they are listed in Schedule 2 species. So, which means their protection status as compared to tigers, as compared to lions, it is lower. Understood? Any doubt? Now, there was a question last year in prelims on flying foxes, right? So, I have curated a, well, packs are larger groups, clans are smaller groups. And sometimes they even individually hunt. Well, you are not reading the question. Statement 2, dholes are strictly solitary predators. What did I tell you here? They often turn into smaller hunting groups of 3 to 5 individuals, not strictly individual. If it says it might be individual, then it might have been correct. But when it says strictly individual, this is an absolute statement and an incorrect statement. So, option C here becomes correct because first obviously is a right statement, right? Understood? Please reread the statements again and again. Yes, Gagan, yes, Mini, Bhanu, Rishi, Tani, correct? Yashi, Sarang, एक बार और देख लेना, okay? Now moving to the third article, this talks about PM-KISAN Yojana. That is because Madhya Pradesh has offered a crackdown on duplicate PM-KISAN beneficiaries. So this is the context of our today's article. Now the Madhya Pradesh government has directed district officials to first of all identify and then disqualify beneficiaries in cases where both husband and wife from same family, they are individually availing the benefits of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM-KISAN Yojana. Now, this comes after several such cases were reported from across the state by the Our Dear newspaper, Indian Express only. And on May the 21st, the Union Ministry on Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, it issued an SOP to the states on what steps they need to follow before taking necessary action against such erring beneficiaries, right? So, in this regard, let us understand what is PM-KISAN Yojana. PM-KISAN Yojana is a central sector scheme. What did I tell you about central sector scheme? In central sector scheme, 100% of the funding is provided by the central government only. That means state government provides no funding to the central sector scheme. And under this scheme, an income support of rupees 6,000 per year is provided to farmers in 3 equal installments of rupees 2,000 each, right? And this will be provided to all land holding farmer families. So which means if you are a tenant farmer, if you are a sharecropper, you won't get the benefits. To get these benefits, you first have to own a land and you have to be a farmer on that land, right? But there are some other notable exclusion also. Suppose farmer families who pay income tax, they are not eligible. Farmer families who include government employees, not eligible, and professionals like doctors, architects, etc., they are also excluded from the benefits of the scheme. Understood? Now let us understand what is the beneficiary base. This has a different beneficiary base as compared to other schemes of the government. In other schemes, beneficiaries are called as households. In this, the beneficiary is called as a land holding farmer family, right? So it is defined as a family consisting of husband, wife, minor children who own their own cultivable land as per the land records of state and union territories concerned. So suppose there are two families living in a same household and these two families has different land. So these two families individually will get the benefit. But suppose if husband is getting the benefit and wife is also getting the benefit, this is wrong, and that is why MP government has issued notices under this kind of an event, right? Now it is the responsibility of state government and union territory administration to first of all identify the farmer families who are eligible to support as per the scheme guidelines. Although state government does not provide support in terms of family funding, but when it comes to implementation and identification of the beneficiaries, here state governments have indeed a very important role. Now the fund under this scheme, it will be directly transferred to the bank accounts of the beneficiary using what is known as direct benefit transfer. Understood? So this is the scheme that we were talking about. Now let's see if you are able to solve another question of the day. Is 6,000 per year actually enough for one family? Well, not enough, but actually this is better than zero, right? So some money is provided so that money is used for buying fertilizer, seeds, etc. You are not reading the statements today correctly, students. What happened to you guys? You guys are generally good enough, but today what happened to you guys? Saturday का effect है. Under this scheme, income support is provided only to small and marginal farmer families. When did I tell you that? I told you all land holding farmer families. There are some exceptions, but basically this is the beneficiary base. First is correct. It is a central sector scheme with contribution from central government only. So here you need to understand that in central sector scheme, 100% of the funding is provided by central government. Yes, Reshma, good evening. So first only is correct. Option A is your right answer. Now, PM-KISAN scheme is one of the benefits that Government of India provides to farmers. It provides fertilizer subsidy, it provides research support, it provides water for irrigation, electricity to farmers. So all these are both examples of direct and indirect benefits. Now everything relating to agriculture we deal in great detail in our economy classes, which happens in GS Foundation batches. Right now, May morning batch admissions are ongoing, but you will be surprised to know that today the May morning batch admissions will close. So if you have to opt for May morning batch, you have until the evening today to take admissions in. Now, to take admission, what you need to do, go to our StudyIQ IS website, right? When you go to our website, you will be needing first to create an account here by simply logging in with your mobile number, okay? Once you log in with your mobile number, click on Explore Courses. The upper tile will show you what kind of a language you want to take in. Here, please click UPSC IS English, because in these batches, the teachings are provided exclusively in English language, okay? Now, what you need to do, click on this left tile. Once you click on the left tile, you will see that the diamond batch is available at 37,999. But I'll tell you a way where you can get discounts even on this amount. Click on Buy Now here. Once you click on Buy Now, see an table will open, and this on the right side asks you to add a promo code. Click here and write the coupon code which is flashing on the bottom half of your screen, called as ATS Live, okay? And click Apply. Once you click Apply, see the discount of 7,000 rupees is applicable, and the diamond course now is available at 30,999. Similarly, platinum is at 27,500, gold is at 16,999. You can choose any of these three courses according to your own wishes, but if you ask me personally, I'll tell you take diamond batch. Why? And do not forget to add the code, obviously, to get discounts, right? Now, to take diamond batch, why am I recommending to you? See, because all the benefits, all the features of StudyIQ IS platform are available in diamond batches, whereas some are not available in both gold and platinum. That is why opt for the best value and best quality course, that is the diamond batches, right? Sir, I am a 12th student. What are the basics I should clear for UPSC? Well, the basic first is you need to be a graduate before appearing into the exam, right? So at least go for a graduation course of your choosing, then go for UPSC, right? Understood, Sandeep? Any doubt? I hope not. Now let us understand a very important term in economics known as initial public offering. This was appeared in the Indian Express website, right? Now, OpenAI, which is the company making the product known as ChatGPT, ChatGPT, it has indicated its openness of willingness for its potential IPO in the future, depending on the company's own readiness as well as public markets response, right? Now, what is an IPO, you may ask? Okay, before understanding the IPO, let me tell you a few basics first. Suppose I am a businessman and a very good businessman, and I own a company called as XYZ, right? Now, XYZ company, which is owned by me, Ankit, this company's current value is rupees 100 crore. Okay. Right. Now, suppose I'm very ambitious and I want to expand this company quite big. So, I want to construct a new factory. I want to construct more outlets. So, for that establishing of new factory, I need additional 20 crore rupees to undertake construction activities. So, if I need 20 crore rupees to expand my business, I have three options. First is to use the profit or the earnings that my company has made previously, right? But this actually has a negative impact, that a company's profit is used for daily expenses purposes all. So, if I use all the profit that may I have made, and suppose if that profit is 20 crore, I will be left with no money to expand anywhere, right? So, another option that I have is go to bank and demand for a loan of 20 crore rupees. But the negative aspect about loan is that I'll have to pay not just the principal amount of 20 crore rupees, but I also have to pay interest on this amount, which may be quite a large amount of money. So, the third option is that I go to people or public like you and I issue shares of this company. Now, when I issue shares of this company and I ask public to give me money, I am offering them a part ownership in my company, right? So, suppose I want to get 20 crore rupees and my company's current value is what? 100 crore rupees. So, I say that I am liquidating 20% of my ownership and I am transferring 20% of this ownership to public, and in return I want the public to give me 20 crore rupees, and using this 20 crore rupees I will take my company's business expansion, right? So, I will say that a price of my share will be rupees 10 and I will issue 2 crore shares. So, 2 crore into 10 becomes what? 20 crore rupees. Understood? So, I am issuing how many shares in public? 2 crore shares. And when my company's value is 100 crore rupees, so technically the company will be worth 10 crore shares. So, the owner, that is Ankit, I will be retaining 8 crore shares, and 2 crore shares I will be transferring to public so that they pay me 20 crore rupees. And I will say, people who are going to own 20% of my company, this is diversified. Any doubts in this up till now? Now, suppose 3 people come to invest in my company. Person A, person B, person C. Person A brought, out of 2 crore shares that I issued in the market, person A brought 1 crore shares. And if you multiply it by 10, the investment that person A made into my company was rupees 10 crore. And my company's value is 100 crore rupees. So, this makes person A 10% owner of my company, right? I continue to be 80% owner of my company because I hold 8 crore shares. Similarly, person B bought 60 lakh shares and multiplied by 10. Person B invested how many money? 6 crore rupees, and he becomes 6% owner of my company. Person C bought rest 40 lakh shares and multiplied by 10. Person B required the company to give how many money? 4 crore rupees, and therefore he becomes 4% owner of my company. So that is how, by issuing IPO, I transferred a part of my share or a part of my ownership to these 3 people, and in return these 3 people provided me the money that I required, in total amounts to 20 crore rupees, and this money I will invest in expansion of my business. So this initial process of issuing shares from the owners to the public for the first time, this is called as IPO. Understood? Any doubt? Anyone, please ask me right now. आराम से पूछो, कोई डर नहीं है, मैं भी मजे से पढ़ा रहा हूं. I hope, no doubt. Now let us understand the theory. I explained it to you briefly. Now IPO refers to the process by which a privately held company, that I told you my company was XYZ, this was privately held, I was only the owner. Similarly, government owned companies also can issue shares like LIC did before, and this is the first time it is offering shares to public or to new investors, and a company may opt to list on a stock exchange. Primarily, the purpose of this is to raise capital, and I can invest this capital in expansion of my business or whatever I want to do with this capital. Similarly, companies issue shares in the market also to diversify and broaden its shareholders base, right? And sometimes this listing also provides an exit to company's existing investor, right? So suppose instead of just me, another person was holding 20% of the company, and that person wanted to sell his entire stake in the company. So I can also use that person's 20% and issue shares so that the original owner sells a share and other people buy those shares. So this also sometime can be the, yes, private held companies only. That is, private held in economy means only one person or a group of person own the company. Government company theoretically can also be a private holding company. Suppose if government owns 100% of a company, that is called as a private limited company, not in terms of government or private ownership, but because government is the sole owner of the company. Understood, Mini? So this actually does not mean government, public or private. This is entirely different. So sometimes companies want to raise capital, like the one I told you, I wanted 20 crore rupees to invest in my business. So this was the purpose. Sometimes companies can want to diversify and broaden its shareholder base, and also sometimes they want to exit. Some owner of the company might also want to exit the company, so therefore they issue shares in this regard. And to issue shares in the regard, IPO is the first step in the process of listing a company on a particular stock exchange, like National Stock Exchange, like Bombay Stock Exchange, or any stock exchange of the foreign company. I will tell you how the shares are listed, need not worry. So what happens in the IPO? A part ownership of the company is transferred to other investors directly, right? So for the first time when this is happening, it is called as IPO. Now suppose three investors are holding their respective shares, right? Person A, person B and person C. Now if person A wants to sell this share to B or to C or to any person, say D, E or F, that person has to go and sell his stock in the stock market, right? So B can't transfer the share directly to person A, or similarly person A can't sell stock directly to person B. They have to go to a market which is called as stock market. And when you sell your shares in stock market, this market is called as secondary market. And in the first time when IPO was issued, this is called as what? Primary market. Understood the difference? So suppose I am a farmer and I am selling potatoes to you and you are a consumer. So that will be a primary market. But if you go to a mandi where I am selling it to mandi and mandi is selling to markets or different buyers of the potato, that is called as a secondary market. Well, PSUs are a public sector undertaking, which means government is the majority stockholder. That is why you will see shares of public companies in the stock market. But have you seen Ministry of Railways stock in the market? Ministry of Railways 100% owned by Indian government. Some PSUs of railways like RVNL etc., those are PSUs, right? Because government is a majority stakeholder, not 100% stakeholder. Government owns more than 50%, that is why it is controlling the company. That is why it is called as public sector undertaking, not a government department. Had it been 100% owned by a government, it would have been a government department like railways. Understood the difference, Gagan? Understood the concept of primary market and secondary market? I gave you a very simple example. I'm a farmer growing potato and I'm selling you. You want to eat potato and you're buying it from me. This is primary market. But if I'm selling it in mandi and you're buying it from mandis, that is a secondary market. Now, how is IPO listed in India? Now, suppose if I'm a company, I want to sell shares to public. So, the process is I go to SEBI, which is India Stock Market Regulator, and file for application, and SEBI will ask me to fill a application known as offer document. And in this offer document, the company owners, they will have to provide all relevant information regarding the company. Who are the owners? What are the projects that the companies have invested in? What are the financial details? Whether company is making profit, loss? What are the investment that the company has done? What is the reason why I am issuing these shares to public? What are the terms of issues, etc. Right? All of this detail, the owner, yes, DHRP, correct. Are you a CA, Bhanu Gupta? Draft hearing read prospectus. So these are relevant information that needs to be supplied by owners in its offer document, and this is called as draft read hearing prospectus. Now, the listing process, it also mandates that once my company is listed into the stock markets, I have to make regulatory disclosures like profit, like loss, like expenses every few months or every quarter as the law requires. And therefore, it signals the investors that company will become public. Public in terms of ownership, public in terms of sharing its finances to the general public. And this ultimately is looking to benefit stakeholders. And why is SEBI mandating issuing of these information in public? So that investors know whether my company is good and whether my company is bad. Only if my company is good, then only people will invest in my company, right? So this is the purpose, or this is the process of how IPO is listed in the market. Now, which companies are eligible to issue IPO in India? Now, SEBI obviously has mandated that company needs to fulfill certain criteria before they can go and demand for investment from investors, right? So, a company, it must have a net tangible asset of at least 3 crore and a net worth of at least 1 crore in each of the preceding 3 years before they are applying for IPO. Then only they can apply for IPO. Similarly, a company must have a minimum average pre-tax profit of 15 crores in at least 3 of the immediate preceding 5 years, then only the companies can invest in IPO. So most of the companies, whenever they opt for IPO, you'll have to realize they at least should have to show minimum pre-tax profit of 15 crore rupees for at least 3 of the last 5 years, then only they can issue an IPO. Understood? Any doubts in IPO? Now I told you, right? Hypothetically, I told you, suppose if I fix the value of my share of my company as rupees 10. But this is not a hypothetical fixing. This fixing of value of share actually are based on various consideration. Now, whenever a company is going to issue a IPO, it enlists the services of a merchant banker, which is basically an expert in the financial market. And the price of IPO is fixed by the issuer company in consultation with the merchant banker. And they arrive at the value of share by undertaking or understanding total valuation of the company based on different parameters like what the assets the companies hold, like land, like offices, like machinery, or what the revenue the companies are making, what is the profit the companies are making, and what will be the future cash flow of the company. All of this is estimated and the total value of company is then decided. And based on the percentage of stake that you want to dilute, you divide that by total of percentage that I gave you in this very example. That suppose my value of my company, I hypothetically fixed at 100 crore rupees and I said I want to 20 crore rupees from the market. So hypothetically, when the value of my company is 100 crore rupees and if I am wanting to 20 crore rupees of investment, I want to diversify or sell 20% of my shares, right? And if I said a price of my share would be 10 rupees, which means I will be selling 2 crore shares in the market. So automatically it means if I'm having 8 crore shares with me because I am the 80% owner now, right? So that is how the value of share is arrived at. First they arrive at the value of share and then they decide how much amount of money they want to get. Any doubts up till this? Now what you need to understand, the market regulator SEBI, it does not have any role in fixing the prices. The fixing of prices of share is the sole prerogative of the issuing company and it comes at a conclusion by consulting its merchant banker. Merchant banker is basically the IPO service provider. They help you fulfilling all the regulatory requirement. Now the big question is, for people like you and I who invest in stock market, who can invest in an IPO? Can you and I invest in IPO? Yes, but we have to fulfill certain condition. First, anyone who is above 18 years of age is eligible to become an investor, provided they have a brokerage account to invest. And who are the account holders who provide us with these kind of services? Apps like Zerodha, apps like Grow, or companies like ICICI Direct. All these are brokerage services and they open and they allow us to open an account, and using those accounts we can trade in the stock market. And investors are basically categorized into 3 categories. Big investors are called as qualified institutional investors. These are categories of investors which include FPIs, that is foreign portfolio investors, mutual funds, commercial banks, insurance companies, pension funds, etc. Similarly, smaller investors like you and I, we are called as retail investors, and we are individuals who invest up to or less than 2 lakh rupees. And if you are investing more than 2 lakh rupees, you will be categorized as a high net worth individual. So how many of you are high net worth individual? Let me know in the comment section. And also let me know the correct answer of this particular question. UPSC age limit 27 years in 3 attempts. Why are you spreading misinformation, Rishi Pandey? Yes. No, Sandeep, not B. Option D is the right answer. Bond is a debt instrument. Bond is not an equity instrument. But you are too young to understand it, Sandeep. Now let us move to next article. This article actually talks about sodium ion batteries, right? Now before understanding this article, context is very important. Now given that lithium ion batteries are made up of scarce and expensive elements like cobalt, nickel, copper, lithium, technology companies worldwide have been looking for alternatives, particularly to reduce the cost of batteries that are used in electronic items. Now it is China which is actually controlling the global lithium ion battery supply chain, as well as world's largest refining capacity is also with China. Now it is used for battery storage and electric cars, and now 2 of the biggest lithium ion manufacturers are Chinese companies, CATL and BYD. BYD also manufactures cars. So therefore, when one country is holding sizable reserves and holding sizable supply chain of lithium ion, obviously you need to diversify, you need to look for alternatives. First of all, to reduce being hostage to a country and also to bring down the cost. So that is why smart people are conducting scientific research, and a breakthrough in this regard has been claimed by a research team in Bangalore based Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, which is an autonomous institution under the Department of Science and Technology of Union Government. Now this breakthrough has been touted as another promising step in India's effort to build an alternative of lithium ion chemistry and lithium ion batteries, which is the most common element in battery manufacturing, where China virtually has a stronghold in the supply chain. Now in this regard, let us understand few facts about the battery that has been developed by the Bengaluru based institution. Now this battery has the capability of undertaking super fast charging, and it is a sodium ion battery that can charge up to 80% in just 6 minutes, and it claims to last over 300 charging cycle. A charging cycle is, suppose if you charge your battery to 100% and if it comes down and you charge it again to 100%, that is one cycle of the battery, right? So basically you can completely recharge this battery for up to 3000 times. Okay. Now it is nearly comparable with the more ubiquitous lithium ion batteries. Okay, more on this I will tell you later in this discussion only. Now the new battery is based in what is known as Nasion type chemistry, which is a class of polyionic materials and with a known structure in electrochemical materials, but there have been significant enhancements made in the engineering so that the performance of this battery has improved so much. What is the significant enhancement? Let us discuss this. Now, unlike conventional sodium-ion batteries that suffer from sluggish charging and short lifespans, this new battery uses a smart mix of chemistry and nanotechnology to demonstrate a significantly lower charge time and also has a more charging cycles. So, the changes made by the companies is anode engineered with 3 optimization. First, they used nanoparticles in the anode which sped up the ion movement, therefore allowing faster charging time. The carbon coating was done over iron so that better conductivity and protection is there so that it lasts for a more time, and also aluminum doping was made so that it improves performance and stability and improves that so that you can charge these battery for more number of times. Understood? So these 3 technological innovations were made so that sodium ion battery is comparable to lithium ion battery, having quick charge time and more charging cycles. Now it is the reason why companies are making a sodium battery is that it is more abundant than lithium and can be extracted from seawater also at a relatively lower cost. Unlike lithium, where availability of lithium is concentrated in only few countries like the CAB countries in Latin America, that is Chile, Argentina and Bolivia. These are countries also called as lithium triangle. Similarly, sodium is more environment friendly and can be transported at 0 voltage, making it safer, which is very unlike the lithium, which is less environment friendly and also has to be stored with a minimum charge, which sometimes poses risk of fire incidences happening. So these are the 2 advantages of sodium. There are other advantages also. First of all, the sodium ion battery uses aluminum, which is way cheaper than copper that is used in lithium ion battery technology, and sodium ion batteries, they also have a higher operating temperature range and they are safer. That means you can use these batteries in extreme temperatures without having the risk of thermal runaway or these batteries catching fire, right? But on the other hand, there are some disadvantages of sodium also. First of all, the battery technology is still in very early stages, which means the companies who are investing so much in these battery technology, they obviously will sell these batteries at a higher cost to recuperate their investment. Similarly, sodium ion batteries have a limitation of flexibility as they can't be turned into various shapes like prism, cylindrical, and these shapes are very essential in kinds of devices that they are embedded in, because you understand lithium ion batteries are used in shavers, they are used in our mobile phones, they are used in laptops in various different shapes and sizes, but you can't change the shapes of sodium ion batteries to these kind of different shapes that the lithium ion batteries can get. Similarly, sodium ion batteries also typically have a much lower cycle life as compared to lithium ion battery, because commercial lithium ion batteries these days have 8,000 charging cycles, whereas I told you the new sodium ion battery have only these many charging cycles, which is comparatively less than half of the lithium ion battery. So these are the disadvantages of the sodium ion battery. Understood? Now let's see if you are able to solve this question. Well, a newly developed sodium ion battery can charge up to 80% in 6 minutes, correct, but it can't last over 9,000 charging cycles. I told you it can last up till 3,000 charging cycles. Unlike lithium ion batteries, sodium ion batteries cannot operate at the high temperature and pose a greater risk to thermal runaway. Also incorrect. So the correct answer is neither 1 nor 2. Option D is your right answer. Yes, everybody has gotten it right. Now it's 9:57 already. It will take about 10-15 minutes more, so it will be much higher than I can imagine. Therefore, let's take up this article on Monday, okay? Need not worry. You can download the notes on the Telegram channel, ATS Live, okay? So, I'll see you on Monday. Please have a very good weekend. and keep revising. Okay. So this is all from my side.